Hello, I'm Andy Norman, founder of Antek Automation, and welcome to Quick Tips, the show where I take one real problem facing small businesses and give you something practical to do about it. Picture a Saturday morning at an estate agency. 3 properties just went live on Rightmove overnight and the phones are about to go absolutely berserk. The first call gets answered, the second caller hits an engaged tone, the third one waits, then gives up. By the time someone gets round to calling them back, they've already booked a viewing with the agency down the road. That's not a staffing problem, that's a phone system problem. And it plays out in lettings offices, emergency trade businesses, law firms after a tele-ad, and GP surgeries, anywhere that call volumes bunch up unpredictably. You can't hire your way out of a spike, you just absorb the damage. I spent over 30 years in field service before I got into automation, and the one thing that hasn't changed in all that time is the engaged tone. It is still the fastest way to hand a warm inquiry straight to a competitor. So today I want to talk about how voice agents solve the concurrent call problem and 3 things you need to get right if you're going to make this work properly for your business. The first point is the technology itself, and I'll keep this plain. Traditional phone lines are physical things. One line, one conversation. Add lines and you add cost and you still add people to man them. Voice agents run on cloud telephony, which means internet-based voice channels that spin up a new session the moment a call arrives, without touching any existing conversation. There is no upper limit on simultaneous connections. 10 callers ring at the same moment, 10 separate conversations start. 100 ring at once, same story. Every caller gets answered immediately, no hold music, no cue, no engaged tone. For any business that runs hot during specific windows, that's a fundamentally different world. The second point is about how each of those conversations stays clean and separate, because this is where people often have questions. The concern is usually something like, how does it keep track of who it's talking to when it's handling dozens at the same time? The answer is session isolation. Each conversation has its own memory, its own context, and its own connection to your back-end systems. So when the agent is booking an appointment for one caller while taking a complaint from another and qualifying a new lead from a third, none of that bleeds across. Each interaction writes its own record back to your CRM in real time. That's the bit that matters for your business. You don't just gain call capacity, you gain clean data from every conversation, not just the ones a human happened to log. The third point is about implementation, and this is where I see people come unstuck. The technology handles the volume. What you have to think carefully about is the routing logic and the fallback paths. Before anything goes live, you need to decide which inquiries the agent handles end to end and which ones need a human in the loop. You need your CRM integration tight, because if the agent is answering calls but not writing back to your system, you've gained capacity and lost visibility. You need to test it under realistic load conditions, not just a single test call from your desk. And you need a smooth handoff route for anything the agent can't resolve, one where the caller doesn't have to repeat their whole story from scratch. Get those 4 things sorted before go live, then monitor your answer rates and escalation frequency during your actual peak windows. The numbers will tell you where to adjust. I know the engaged tone problem personally. When I was running field service teams, calls that went unanswered were jobs that went elsewhere. It's a revenue leak, and it's a quiet one because you never see the caller who didn't get through. You just notice the pipeline is a bit thinner than it should be. A voice agent that picks up every call and handles it properly closes that leak without adding headcount. If you want the full picture on how concurrent call handling works technically and what to plan for when setting it up, I've written it all up on the blog. Full link is in the show notes. I'm Andy Norman, this has been Antek Automation. Find us at antekautomation.com and I'll see you on the next one.